Today, I will show you the not so fancy side of data analysis, data cleaning. This video is not going to be about building shiny but probably useless dashboards that provide little insights. This video is going to focus on data cleaning using Power Query in Excel with a focus on answering specific business questions. I will not just clean data for the sake of it. I will clean data with a goal in mind, and that is to get exactly the insights that I want and nothing more. And for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Mo Chen, and I've been working with complex big data in the financial services industry for 6 years now. I currently work as a data and analytics analyst, and in general, I'm just trying to live my best life. But that's enough talking for now, so how about we jump into Power Query and get our hands dirty and clean some data. All right, so like I said, let's get our hands dirty and jump into Power Query. So first of all, you need to open up Excel, of course, because we'll be using Power Query inside of Microsoft Excel. So first things first, I have Excel open. I'm going to create a blank workbook and I'm going to save this somewhere. You can save this anywhere. I'm going to save it in my downloads folder just so I can easily find it right here. Book 4, yeah, sure. I should probably give it a better name, but for now, all I care about really is cleaning data, getting some insights, so I'm going to leave it like this. All of the links to the dataset and the final file will be in the description, so make sure you do not forget to check that in case you want to ask in the comments. So, okay. Now, first, we need to open up Power Query, obviously. So to do this, you can go to Data, and then Get Data, and launch the Power Query editor. All right, so next thing is that we'll have to bring in our data source, and the data source is going to be a data science job posting data set on Kaggle. It's a relatively simple data set, and it's perfect for this type of data cleaning, quick data cleaning. And the way you can bring in the data set is actually there's 2 ways, or probably even more. I'll show you 2. So you can go to the query section and then right click New Query, File, and then you choose the file you want to bring in, or you go to New Query right here, New Source, File, and in my case, it's going to be a CSV file. So let me go to Downloads, Uncleaned DS Jobs, and let me bring in this dataset. Hit OK, and Power Query is going to take a second to load, and we have our dataset. Now, I have a lot of these column distribution, column profiles, and column quality turned on, so you can do the same. You can see that all of these bars, so let me click into salary estimate, for example, you see a value distribution, column statistics, so you can turn these off or you can turn them on. I like to have them on because it's just so much easier to navigate my data and understand my data. Now we have a lot of columns. I'm not going to be using all of these columns, so the ones I'm going to be focusing on is job title, salary estimate, and location, size of the company. And yeah, that's it. Because essentially the questions I want to answer in this data cleaning exercise is that which job titles or which role types pay the best, where do these data people make the most money, in which states, and what sized companies pay the best. So first things first, what I like to do always is check for duplicates. So I go keep duplicates, and I can clearly see that my table is empty. So let me just remove the step from the applied steps section. So let me remove the previous step. And how about we start by extracting the minimum salary estimate and the maximum salary estimate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extract everything to the left of the opening bracket. So I'll only be left with $101K hyphen $165K. That's it. So to do that, you can go to transform, and the difference between transform and adding a new column is that if you transform the original column, whereas if you add a new column, obviously you add a new column. So let me show you the difference. Let me just add a new column first. So I come here, I go to extract text before, delimiter, and then opening bracket, okay. And then now you'll see if I scroll to the end, I have a new column. So I don't want a new column. I just want to transform the original column into salary estimate. And I go to transform, extract text before, delimiter, and then there we go. So now you can see I'm only left with what I actually wanted. Now I want to create 2 columns, a min cell and a max cell column. And Power Query is actually really, really smart. So what you can do is go to add column, column from examples, and you can just start typing. Like I'm going to type in 137, which is obviously my minimum here and the number I want to get. And Power Query knows, and it'll just automatically extract the first number. So super good, super easy. Let me just, okay that, and let me call this column min cell. Min cell. So this is the minimum salary, and then now we can do the exact same for the max cell. So let me go back to salary estimate, go to add column, column from examples, and then this time I'll type in the max, which in this case is 171, hit enter, wait a little bit, and then just check through it. Yep, I think that worked again. Hit OK. And what I will do now is I will rename this as well to max cell. All right, okay, so we have the salary figures, which is fantastic. And the next thing I'm gonna do actually is these job titles, I'm gonna tidy them up a little bit so that we have fewer job titles. Currently, I think we have too many. We can group, senior data analyst into just data analyst. We can group senior data scientist, senior data scientist, image analytics, whatever, into just data scientist. So essentially, I'm going to create 5 groups. I'm going to create data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, machine learning engineer, and everything else is just other. So what I'm going to do is go to add column, custom column this time, and we're going to write some simple formulas. So I'm going to call the column role type, and I'm going to say if text contains, and then I'm going to select my column, which is going to be my job title. So I'm going to say that if my job title contains data scientist, close the function, then give me data scientist. It's a pretty simple if statement, nothing fancy about it, right? So easy. And then next, I don't know why it's not letting me type. There we go. Else. So now I'm going to say that if text contains, so if my job title contains data analyst, then give me data analyst. And then next up, I'm going to say if it contains data engineer, then give me data engineer. And then if it contains machine learning engineer, then give me machine learning engineer. Else, just give me other. So Power Query has let me know and has kindly let me know that there are no syntax errors. So let me hit OK. And we have our new column called role type. So if I click on it, I don't see the value distribution right now. But if I change my data type to text, this is quickly going to change. And I can clearly see that I only have 5 categories right now. And data scientist job postings is equal to 455. And then we have 102 other job postings, 47 data analyst, 47 data engineer, and 21 machine learning engineer. I think I mistyped machine learning engineer. So let me just go back and change that. So I can go back into my formula and machine learning engineer. Yeah, there we go. Or where is it? Yeah, machine learning engineer. All right, okay, that's a bit better, just to make it neat and tidy. Okay, so we have the role types as well. What's the next thing I want to do? Next thing I want to focus on really is size. So I can see that I have -1 for size and unknown. So let me just check out those data points. I don't have too many. I can see that I only have 44. So I'm actually just going to exclude these. So let me just exclude these. So now I applied a little filter. And then the next thing I'll do is I'm going to use the locations column. And what I want to do is I just want to get the state. So I want to get everything after the comma, right? So you can see that it's usually the city or the town first, and then you get the state abbreviation. But I only want the state abbreviation. So what I'm going to do now is come into location, go to transform, split the column by the delimiter, by the comma, hit OK. And then now you can see that I have location 1 and location 2. Now I have a problem though, because in location 2 I have, first of all, I have an arundel and I have nulls. So let me see what's happening here. Okay, so it's because some of these locations you can clearly see that there were no commas in the original column, which is not great. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write a simple function first to create a correction for the location column right here. Yeah, so these are the values I have. So let me just do this. I'm going to screenshot this right here. And after I screenshotted it, I'm just going to keep it here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to artificially create that comma so that I can extract the state. Or if it says United States or remote, it's just going to say other. If this doesn't make sense now, it's fine. Let me show you what I'm going to do. So let me remove the previous steps. Let me remove the split column by delimiter step. So once I remove that, I'm going to come here. Yeah. And now I go to add column, custom column, and I'm going to call this location correction. So I'm going to say that if my location column is equal to, and this is where I'm going to bring in my snipping tool, so California. So if it's equal to California, then I would like it to give me comma and CA. And then else, if my location is equal to what's next? New Jersey. Okay, so if it's equal to New Jersey, then give me NJ for New Jersey. And then let's see, what else do we have here? So else, yep, right here. I don't know why it's not letting me hit the enter. Sometimes it's a little bit weird. All right, else if location is equal to, well, Patuxent I don't want because I know an arundel is the second one extracted anyway, so I'll correct that at the very end. It's just a one-off, so I'll look at that later. But if it says remote, I want it to say other. And then I think if it says United States, I also want it to be other. So United States, I also want it to say other. What else do we have here? Texas and Utah. All right, so if it says Texas, I want it to say TX. Obviously, that's Texas. This is abbreviation. And then I have Utah and UT for Utah. Otherwise, it'll be very simple. Just give me location. All right, so where's the error? Oh, I forgot the ifs. All right, so let me just put in else if and correct my statements so they actually work. Yeah, there we go. Location correction. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go to my location correction column, transform, split the column by the delimiter, by the comma, hit OK, and then now I have two columns, and then the second one, yeah, everything looks correct now. So an arundel is, well, I'm not too sure where an arundel is. So an arundel, which state? I Googled this before, but clearly I didn't remember. So it's in Maryland. So the only thing I need to find out now is Maryland state, abbreviation, MD. Okay, so right click, replace values, and I'm going to replace an arundel with just MD. Hit OK. And now if you look at this column, we have all of the states, which is fantastic. Let me rename this column to state abbreviation. And I think we're good. I think that's all the data cleaning I really wanted to do quickly. So now let's answer our questions, which is going to be around what role types pay the best, which locations pay the best, and what types of companies in terms of size pay the best. So that's the next thing we'll do. All right, super quick break. And don't worry, this is not a sponsored message. This is a message from me, Mo. If you gained any value out of this video or any of my videos so far, then can I ask you two simple favors, please? One, subscribe to the channel. It helps everything I do more than you know. 2. Check out my personal website at mochan.info for data analysis resources if you want to get your next data job in the fastest possible way. Okay, so first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this query. So you can either reference or duplicate, and I'll show you both. When you duplicate, you're just obviously copy and pasting, and it's going to be independent of the original query. If you're referencing, it's going to depend on the original query, which is going to be your source query. So this time I duplicated, and I'm going to call this query. I'm going to say this is going to be the salary by role type. Yeah, let's do it by role type first. So what you can do is you can actually come in here and you can choose the columns you want. So this time I really only want the role type, the max cell, and the min cell, and I don't want anything else. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to group by the role type. So yeah, advanced, and then you can do a count on the rows, which will obviously just count how many there are, and then you can count on all of the rows, or you can basically just include and group by all of the rows, which will give you the row level detail. I'll show you how. So let me just say average min cell, yeah, AVG min cell, and then I would also like the AVG max cell, average max cell, hit OK. And oh, I ran into a bunch of errors, and I think I know why. So let me just remove this. I think it's because, yeah, these are not actually numbers. So let me just change the type to currency. Let me change the type to currency here as well. And if it's already currency, how about we actually multiply it by 1,000, because it is thousands we're talking about here. So multiply, go to transform, go to standard, multiply, and then 1,000. There we go. And then now we can do the exact same thing. So click on role type, group by, advanced, count, and then let's do an all rows. And then let's do average min cell, and then let's do average max cell, and then AVG min cell, and then we can do AVG max cell. And then there you go. Now let me change the type to currency again, right here. Let me change the type to currency again, right here. And what I can do is just order descending or sort descending, and then now you can see that data scientists have on average the highest max salary, and the difference between count and all rows is that there's 415, which is the count, but if you click into the table bit, you see the underlying detail, and then I can also click here into the table, and then you basically can just drill down. So let me remove this step. So this was a duplicate, so let me just put it here that this is a duplicate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference this time. So I'm going to reference, and this time, how about we do the salary by size, as in company size. And this is a reference, so I'm going to name it ref. Okay, so I know that we had this issue with the numbers before, so let me go back to the original query right here. And let's look at these numbers, min cell and max cell. And let me go back to the reference query and look at min cell and max cell. It's still in text format, nothing has changed. So let me go back to the original query, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the data type here to currency. I'll do the same for max cell, currency, and then I'm going to multiply by 1,000. I'm also going to multiply here by 1,000. And then now if I go back to the reference query, you'll see that these have actually changed. Now this is because it is referencing the source query, so you can see that if you go to the right here in the applied steps, I only have one, which is the source, whereas if I go to my duplicate, you can see that I have all of these steps that I applied before, which are going to be the same steps as I applied right here in the original query. So back to the reference one, let me just, again, choose the columns that I need and want. So it'll be state, or no, it'll be max cell, min cell, and just the size. And yeah, that's all I want. So 3 columns. Again, I'm gonna group by. So this time I'm gonna group by the size. Yeah, let's do a count. Average, min cell, average, and then let's do max cell. Call this AVG min cell, AVG max cell. Hit OK, and let me just sort descending, and you can see that 51 to 200 employees, these types of companies, have the highest average max sal. Change the data type to currency so we can see it a little bit better. I'll do the same for the average min sal as well into currency. And there you go. I think this looks good. All right, so next up, what I want to do is I'll do the salary by state. But the state abbreviation actually doesn't tell me too much because there's a lot of things that I don't know what it stands for, like MA Massachusetts, probably. But yeah, but I don't know all of these. This is where we can easily map it so we can merge the queries. What I'm going to do is I have a state mapping table that I created. It was super simple, so I'm going to bring that in. Let me find my state mapping table right here. And it's going to load. Yeah, there you go. So you can see that it only has 2 columns, full name and 2-letter USPS. So let me bring this table in. And you can see that the first row should actually be the header. So Power Query, of course, already has something for this. Go to transform, use first row as headers, and then now everything is looking good. And I guess let me just pause here for a little second. So data cleaning is so important because no matter what data analysis job you'll have, it takes up so much of your time and it's so much effort, and you don't see it on the front end, but it's really important. So yeah, make sure you learn it and you learn it well, like really well. So yeah. Oh, and actually, if you're looking for places to learn on this note, DataCamp is a great place to learn. Well, I guess not just Power Query, but anything you want to. So they have sandbox environments, and they've been a partner of mine for a while now. I use them. They're genuinely good. If you want to, check them out. If you don't want to, don't check them out. I learned a lot of stuff on it, mostly around Tableau, but I think their sandbox environments, for coding is pretty good. So yeah, make sure you learn data cleaning. That's the point. It's important. Now, back to my original query, go to the Home tab, merge queries. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge on the state abbreviation right here. And I have a problem now, which is the fact that the selection matches 0 out of 628 rows, which is obviously not great. And I think I know why this might be the case. So if I go to state abbreviation, I think I have empty white spaces here. Now, how can I make sure? I check the length of the characters, and yes, that is true. So NY is clearly 2 characters, but I have 3 here, so I have empty white spaces that I don't want. So what I can do is go to state abbreviation, transform the column, go to format, trim, and now let me just test it again. Add a column on state abbreviation, extract the length, and then now it's equal to 2. Fantastic. So now hopefully my merge is going to work. Back into the Home tab, go to merge queries. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge on the state abbreviation. And voila, there you go. 611 rows out of the 628 are matched. So the only ones obviously that are not matched where the location was remote or United States, and we classed it as other. So I'm going to hit OK. And you can see that it says table here. The only thing you have to do is go into expand, and I'm just going to select state full name. And I don't want the original column name as the prefix, so I will probably still rename it. Anyway, so I'll call this state long name. And now I have the states. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to filter out the nulls, so I don't want the nulls. And now I'm going to... Should I reference this? Yeah, sure. I'll reference it this time. And I'm going to call this is going to be the sal by state and then reference, just so we know. So I'm going to choose the columns again, and I only want 3 columns, state long name, max sal, min sal. Okay. And this time I'm going to group by the state, long name. Yeah, I can do a count, and I'll want the average min sal. I also want the average max sal, so average min sal, and then I want the average max sal. Hit OK, sort descending, and then let me just convert this to currency. Let me convert this to currency as well. And you can see that on average in Delaware, well, that one person, I guess, gets paid a lot of money. North Carolina, we have 9 people. Iowa, 3. District of Columbia, 25, so on and so forth. So we aggregated this time, and we can see where people get paid the most. Obviously, there's only 1 person in Delaware. There's only 9 in North Carolina, 2 in New Hampshire, so it's not exactly a big sample size. And now let me actually show you the View tab. So if you go to View, Query Dependencies, I think this explains the references quite well, right? So you can see that when you duplicate, it's independent. Like this dupe is independent of the uncleaned DS jobs because it's a duplicate. But the references, you see they reference the original query. So you can see the logic behind it. Uncleaned DS jobs, we created a duplicate, which is this one, independent of the original one. And then we created 2 references, which are dependent on the original, which is the source query. So this is a really simple way to explain this. And let me, on that note, create another duplicate. And how about this time, let's just do one more. I'm going to do cell by, how about we do size and role type. And this is a duplicate. All right, so again, I'm going to choose my columns. Oh, it's still loading. Yep, let me choose my columns. So I'm going to need 4 columns this time. Role type, max cell, min cell, and the size. Hit OK. And this time, I'm going to group by the size and the role type. So you can hold down Control or Command if you're on a Mac. Role type, transform, group by, advanced. Yeah, that is what we want. So size and role type. And then I'm going to do, let's do all rows as well. Why not? And then average, min cell, average, max cell, average, min cell, average, max cell. Hit OK. Again, let me just convert this to currency just to make it a little bit easier. Currency. And then sort descending. So there you go. This is how we're looking by company size and role type. So you can see that 1 to 50 employees, there's 2 people here, and the average max cell is 178,000. So that is the highest in terms of average max salaries. And if you want to check who they are, or if you want to, well, not in this case, you cannot check who they are because we already grouped. But if you want to check the underlying data, you can just click into it. So let me delete that. And that's about it, really. So that was the exercise. Super easy data cleaning exercise. Yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for sticking around all the way to the end. I really hope you liked this video. If you did enjoy this one, you're probably gonna like these videos right here. Thank you so much for taking just a little bit of time out of your day to watch this, and I shall see you in the next one.